front and the back of the shoulder with right sides together. And also make sure that the ties go towards the center front instead of off to the sides, because then you'll have it backwards. I'm checking the stretch in the shoulder. This is a high stress area. Grab your sleeve for that side and line up the points that will go in the underarm. You're going to sew from that underarm point on one side to the underarm point on the other side, all the way through, sewing over the shoulder serger stitch. We are using a serger for this whole sewing tutorial. My serger is set to 1/4 of an inch stitch. This is where the sleeve shoulder meets the shoulder of the front and back of the robe. Now you're going to find the wrist area of the sleeve, and you're going to put right sides together and serge up the arm. I use the underarm seams as a guide for the next place my serger stitch is going to stop. I'm using stick pins to show you where to serge, but I never usually use them because they will ruin the knife on your serger machine. After you reach the underarm seams, you're going to sew all the way down to the bottom of the robe where your ankles or your shoes would be. I've started sewing with my serger, and I'm going to use that stitch until I meet the underarm seams where I have taken out the pin. Make sure that the right sides are together on that side and lining up correctly. I'm holding on to those underarm seams the whole time I'm sewing the side. After you've sewn the underarm seams, you're going to hold on to the tip of the sleeve and sew all the way through. Repeat this step on the other side. Remember, you don't have to use the stick pins. A high stress area is the underarm pits, and I usually double secure this with a straight stitch. Now that I've finished sewing the inside seams, I'm going to use fray check at the tips of the sleeves. Don't put wet fray check on your garment. It might discolor areas. So when you're finished putting a little dab on the ends, move them out of the way so that it doesn't hurt the rest of your fabric. You're also going to put a dab of fray check on the inside of the shoulders closest to your neck. Don't let the fray check touch any other parts of your garment. Last but not least, you're going to add a dab of fray check to the bottom seams of your robe. Time for a well-deserved break. Just walk away and have some coffee and come back in about 5 or 10 minutes when your fray check is dried. Starting with the tip of your sleeve, add it under your pressure foot and sew all the way through until you get all the way back to where you started. You can use a serger stitch or a rolled hem as the finishing edge on this robe. To finish the sleeve, you can loop a little knot in the tip, or you can also use fray check. Turn your sleeve right side out to take a look at your beautiful work. Repeat this step on the other side. To start sewing the edges, You start with the ties and sew all the way through to the tie on the other side. This is what my serger stitch edge looks like. Check to make sure that the tie has enough pull to it because this area is going to get a lot of use. Place that serger chain under the pressure foot and try not to cut it. And then you're going to sew all the way through to the other side where it ties. You can slightly pull on the fabric and it'll make a bit of a wave in the rolled hem or the serger stitch. But be careful because sometimes this can make your stitches skip. When you get to an area that you added fray check, just leave it. It'll hold. When you've finished stitching both ties, you can either loop a knot in the end to secure it, or once again, you can use fray check.